It's call on.
I am.
Okay. Welcome to Freedom Radio. Who do we have online? What is that? Who we have on?
Hello?
Hello. Yeah. Which guest? Which new guest? Which guest do we have on?
Hi, this is Kobe Guillory. I'm with the Chicago Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression.
Welcome, Kobe.
I just wanted to call in to say, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. Yeah, I just saying, welcome to Freedom Radio. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I just wanted to say, it's very important to go out and vote tomorrow if you haven't voted already for a mayor who's going to hold the police accountable, who's going to make sure that the police, who's going to make sure that the voice of the people is reflected in what public safety looks like, as well as, other persons, but also there's a new office, a lot of people have heard of it, but a lot of people haven't. The local police district councils in every police district. There's going to be 3 police district councilors, and their job is to make sure that the thoughts and opinions of the people are heard, and that they reach the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability, who has control over the police policy, who has input into the police budget. So it's a very important election, and there's people running right now who have already been in the fight. I think Array was actually on this call, who have already been in this fight for years, trying to hold the police accountable, many of them because they have personally been impacted by police violence and we know how important it is to hold the police accountable. So definitely go out and vote for the local police district council candidates. And we have, there's voter guides out there. You can check on ecpschicago.org or empoweredcommunities.com to see who's running in your district and why you should vote for the people in your district. So once again, thank you for having me on, and go out tomorrow and vote.
Right, hold on, Kobe. If you can't give us a couple of minutes. This is not okay. This is not the mayoral candidates. What again? You say that again? What is this? The Chicago Police Accountability? What is it again for our listeners?
Yeah, it's just the local police district councils. So there's 22 police districts. You're on the ballot. There's going to be several candidates for district council. We have guides to show people, in every district, to show you which district you're in, and who in your district is running with the intention of holding the police accountable. So that you can walk into the ballot box, knowing who to vote for, knowing which names are going to go towards holding the police accountable, are going to go towards making sure that the community has more power over the police rather than the police has power over the community. So once again, if you go to empoweredcommunities.com, that's a very good voter guide. You can also find more information about the ordinance and about who's running on ecpschicago.org.
Cool. Okay, bear with me. As we say, cub with us. I might be a little paranoid. Where can people look? Okay, with this, if I'm correct, this is the first time this is going to be on the ballot. Correct?
Yep.
It's the first time for a person of the lay. How would I know, especially anything dealing with holding the police accountable for anything. What in particular? What should we? Okay, I know. Okay, for the mayoral candidates, automatic candidates, and just okay. Is it some way that people can? I mean, to make sure that we do not miss this? Because I'm kind of concerned. It's going to be we want to make this as easy as possible for people to find. And sometimes people have a block about even holding the police accountable, even question the police. So they might. So I'm just trying to reiterate this as much as I can. Like, do you have a visual like how the ballot is going to look like? What do we look? Is it going to say? It's going to say right there. I think it's Sandra Bridges. Does it say Police Accountability Council candidate? Does it say, that's what it says right there?
So I just voted today. So
okay.
It says for member of the Police District Council.
For a member, one more time for me. One more time.
Of your
list the audience. One more time. Okay. It says what?
Yeah. So you got your mayor. You got for mayor, for city clerk, for city treasurer, for alderperson, and then the last thing you're going to vote for is for member of Police District Council.
For a member of Police District Council.
Yep.
We make sure you hear that correctly. We hear that, and you and then where's you say there's a site that people can go to check out. Said okay, and I was honored and fortunate to be on a panel the other day with Frank Chapman, and we was talking about is it we call it the mayor? The mayor, you got different candidates for the mayor, for aldermen, different other offices. How is this? Is this similar? Is this like 3 candidates running for one particular district? Like you said, I think there's 72 districts in Chicago police, and these are not the. Also, another thing we say, I know a lot of questions. A lot of times we have what is different between this right now as opposed to OPS, Office of Professional Standards, IPRA, different boards like where people would come in and suppose make their complaints against the police. What's unique about this? About this police accountability council. What differentiates this from that OPS and other things?
So the issue with all the other accountability bodies is that they were not really accountable to the people of the city. There was no democracy in the way that the people who made up those councils and officers were appointed. So they were accountable, and in some cases they are accountable to the people who appointed them, which is usually the mayor or city council, whereas the local district councils are the people of the city. So they're accountable to this. They're accountable to the people who they're going to have to organize meetings with, and they're going to have to take in their opinions, as it says in the law in the Empowering Communities for Public Safety Ordinance. They have to take in what the people want and what the people are saying about the police. So there's more of a democratic accountability. There's a system of direct democratic accountability that hasn't existed before, and that doesn't exist anywhere else in the country. So this is actually a first, not just for Chicago, but for the United States as a whole. And I just want to reiterate, the voting guide is empoweredcommunitiesguide.com.
Empower Communities. Someone can type that for me too while we go. Empowercommunities.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Empoweredcommunitiesguide.com.
Empowered Communities. One more time. Empowered Communities. What else?
Empoweredcommunitiesguide.com.
Empoweredcommunitiesguide.com. You okay, one more question. Okay, let me point this out. Okay, again, Cassandra Gribbs reiterates us again. Police Accountability Council candidates Mark Clemens, who both these people should know who these individuals are. Mark Clemens, who was tortured by the infamous Chicago Police Department. Cassandra Greer, the widow of Nicholas Lee, who the tenure of I almost said former Sheriff Tom Dart. I guess it's wishful thinking. Sheriff during the pandemic, her husband Nicholas Lee, at the hands of Sheriff Tom Dart and others, was took out literally. She's Mark Clemens just commented this about, I guess I'm trying to say, discouraging about relevant to the elections of 2023 for mayor of Chicago. 2022, I guess, yeah, bro. Only 177,000 people. Oh, you right, my fault. He's okay. Mark Clemens brought to our attention with the early voting, 177,000. Only 177,000 people have voted in early voting. So again, reiterating, get out. I know sometimes the weather been real bad, weather been real crazy, but again, The sun came out today. I think we'll be like a heat wave, comparatively speaking. So tomorrow, and what one more question, Kobe, I want to ask you about this. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I don't. Okay, I don't know if you're in a position to. I mean, I know we different entities won't be objective. Are there any candidates in these different that people should look for to support, or if you're in a position that you can't actually say, um, although are there some that people should be a heads up as a no go for? You know what I'm saying? That people should say, "Whoa, this the history of this individual." So, are there any names that people should look for with this?
Yeah, absolutely. So there, if you check the Empowered Communities Guide, you can see which candidates are survivors of police violence, which candidates have family members who have survived police violence.
Wow.
So those are the first choice candidates, who have been working through the Chicago Alliance and working through the ECPS coalition.
Yes.
And there are candidates to watch out for as well, because they're sponsored by or they're endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. And these are candidates, of course, who are gonna, if they get in office, which because of the movement that we have, we're pretty confident that they won't. But if they do, which is why we should vote, they're going to make sure that the police are not held accountable. They're going to make sure that the police can kill and brutalize and torture people without being held accountable.
Yes.
So we're trying to make sure that the candidates who you will see in the again on empoweredcommunitiesguide.com, we're trying to make sure that those candidates beat the FOP candidates, and in general, we're trying to make sure that people from the mayor on down who are in favor of holding the police accountable, investing in the community, and just making sure that freedom becomes a reality in the city and that democracy is a reality in the city. We're trying to make sure that those candidates win and that the candidates who support the police and who support the status quo lose.
How long do these terms last?
8-year terms.
Excuse me.
These are for 4 years.
For 4 years.
Same as the mayor and the
Okay. I'm asking. Yeah, I'm concerned. I think I'm gonna run. You point out a great point that many of these individuals have been impacted directly by the police, and I would try to be as objective as I can in regard. But I think I'm gonna run for office for this next time. I might engage. I think I'm gonna run for it next time. Kwabena Sadiq, I should have ran this time. I think I should have. Yeah, but I think I might go for this next. Again, this is the first time this has even been put on the ballot, listeners. So again, look for this, because sometimes you will see stuff. I just want to vote for the mayor, and this look for this in particular. Kwabena Sadiq Jaga, nephew of Geronimo Pratt. Thank you. And also, Brother Gary did a lot of issues. Just put up. Look, he just posted that website for us to go to, the empoweredcommunitiesguide.com, with that police accountability, with the names we're going for, and of course we have one of my sisters in fighting against crime, Cassandra Greer, who have utmost respect for. She just pointed out. Remember these key names, y'all. Again, look for this, because I'm sure you know this. Sometimes we go to see the mayor. Look for these names: Kenya Franklin. That's the District 3. They have them listed. And also we have R.Y. Winters for District 15. Be checking her page, checking these. I'm throwing at these page, checking her page, Mark Clemens' Facebook page. Be checking out for these updates. Like I say, we're gonna be. Anybody know what time does voting start in the morning? Do you know?
I believe it starts at 6 or 7.
Okay, and y'all know in the hood, just look for the extra stuff. The doors locked, and you know how I go. You know what I'm saying. So look for the extras, the hindrances to come down with it. But we think it's 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. That's tomorrow. We thank you so much. Yeah, I should have ran. I know. Yeah. I'm gonna see. Yeah, okay. Mark Clemens said, okay, 6 a.m. 6 in the morning. It's an old song with Ice-T song. 6 in the morning, police at my door. Fresh. So we go 6 in the morning. We gonna be at them doors, at them voting polls. 6 in the morning, y'all. 6 in the morning. And I've been moving around so fast. And again, this is a relatively, and I kind of my thing with Chicago electoral politics. I always talk to my sister Cassandra about this. I say now I'm very political, but electoral political. But this is again. And if I'm correct, this is only in Chicago, right? This community control, the police board. Am I correct? This is just in Chicago.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right, y'all. EmpowerCommunities.com. All right. Okay. Any other comments you want to make? You feel free to stay around with you. Something else comes up, rebuttals, or issues, or some point comes up. Or do you want to comment on the other offices being ran for? Automatic and mayoral campaign. I want to limit to that. Any other comments you want to make about that? Feel free.
Just one more thing. I'm a member of CPU. I'm a teacher. So I voted for Brandon Johnson today. And I just want to say again, go out and vote for police district councilors who are going to hold the police accountable. You can find them at empoweredcommunitiesguide.com. And definitely go out and vote tomorrow. Make sure that all your friends and your family go out and vote as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Right on. We live in the record free on my radio, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can get up at 6 in the morning. Any more? Come on, call us in Q 929-477-3785. We just talking police accountability. We just, he just laid out to his mayoral choice, Brandon Johnson. Kobe just talked about that. He gave you a website to go to. We got Cassandra Greer and Mark Clemens giving us continuous updates about this groundbreaking not office section in regards to police. And again, we hear the history of Chicago police. I mean, I will attempt to lay it as objective as I can. Okay, bring us up. Okay, call us in queue. Press 1. Free them all. Welcome, caller.
Hello, the caller in queue.
Call in queue. Yes, welcome to Freedom On Radio. How you doing? Who do we have online with us?
I'm fantastic, and I am a Raywa Karen Winters, and I am running for 16th District Police Council.
Hey, Rob, welcome to Freedom On Radio. Thank you for calling in with us. This not only if you can't give us the background on not only on who you are, but also to reiterate the significance of this office that you're running for. Because again, our last call was just stating that this is new in Chicago. So again, give us a little background who you are as well as the significance of this particular office that you're running for.
It's very significant. It's significant for me because I lost my great nephew to police violence in North Lawndale community on the west side in April 11, 2016. And the next day I became activated. I just was ready to go to work. And I was like, because I wasn't going to let them, behave as though it was nothing or it was routine or justified. Nope. It's like, no, we gonna fight this one out because that was some BS. Mm-hmm. So I have been involved in so many organizations wrapped around me, Black Lives Matter to the Chicago Alliance Against Racial and Political Repression, Women's All Points Bulletin, the NAACP. I mean, and so I have been primed for this. And so prior to this, I was a part of the first group of organizers that sued the city of Chicago for the consent decree. And this was historic because it was the first time in the nation that community members impacted community members as well, were able to help craft or draft, should I say, the consent decree from community perspective, and then has enforcement powers and other things. And so that's what also helped to prepare me for these district council seats. Something that Barbara Frank Chapman says is that, this is really out of the Black Panther Party because they were the first to call for community control of the police. So we are a manifestation right here in the city of Chicago, where your father was a masterful organizer. And right here on this west side, in the city of Chicago, west and south side, primarily because of what happens to our people. And it's like, if there's a lot of people like, we got this and we got that, it's not working. This is still different than those things because of who's involved in this work. And so that's why I'm very excited about. I had many trepidations around the political aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be a politician. I serve my people, but I didn't want to do it from an office. But because it's this type of office, it's like I had to.
Yes.
I had no choice. I had to. With all the knowledge, all the wonderful, phenomenal, strong, intelligent Black people that I have met in the city, Black and brown people, all people that I've met in this city just doing this work, I feel obligated. I feel obligated.
Right on. You right on. Again,
yeah.
Give us your name again, sister. Y'all listen up. Say your name again.
Winters. Karen Winters.
And you mentioned that you're okay. In 2016, you lost your nephew.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're familiar with even prior to that, the history like in Chicago with these different entities, OPS, Office of Professional Standards, so on and so forth. Just in case people hear this about this office, what do you like? What's the procedure? What again? If you can't reiterate to us, what is unique? Why should we make sure that we make a concerted effort to not miss this on the ballot tomorrow?
Well, like Kobe said, it's so we're like most of our numbers are in the 70s, and so we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom of the ballot. But what separates us from them, and truth be told, is that we're basically volunteers for one. So this is not about money for us. This is really about change, in our communities, how our communities are policed, who is policing communities, and then, calling them to task when they do things that they're not supposed to do. We have become accustomed to bad behaviors. We become accustomed to them doing things, and we just brush it off like it's nothing, but we can't afford to do that because it's something. It's never nothing. It's always something, and that needs to be brought to their attention, as well as, they're layers. They're layers, but we get to lay a foundation. We get to lay a foundation that other cities begin to look at, because police violence is not unique to Chicago. This happens and internationally when it comes down to Black and brown people. So this is an opportunity. We have to seize this moment to the fullest. Everybody has to come in with the right intent, and when they don't, we correct that immediately because we have too much work to do. There's too much work to be done. We can't spend 4 years being adversaries and not accomplishing it, because then the city will turn around and say, oh, we tried that with the community and it didn't work. We can avoid that. So we have to get in here. We at the table with the FOP or whatever. We have to hold them at bay. We have to put them under a new demonstration, because this ain't that. Running this.
Yes.
They need to be. I don't know how other people feel about that, but I will not let them, and I know some others will not let them run this. This is about the people and for the people. So, please. The city hasn't done a good job. Matter of fact, zero job until now. Until recently, they started to talk about it, but it should have been talked about a long time ago. There should have been public awareness campaigns moving around the city, educating people, because too many people still don't know who we are, what it is. And we didn't have the resources or the manpower to do it. If it wasn't for the Chicago Alliance supporting the ECPS candidates, I don't know where a lot of us would be, because we poor working class people with families and 2 and 3 jobs, and so they supported us. They educated us about the ordinance. They educated us about, you know, getting the petitions done, canvassing, everything. They gave us volunteers to help us get out and get the word out. So if it wasn't for them, you know, I can't speak for nobody else, but I don't know where I would be, and I'm grateful for them. And also Mark and Cassandra, I work with them. I work with Mark through the Chicago Torture Justice Center. You know, we all about this work, and it's monumental, and that's how we have to look at this. You know, we can't listen to what Malcolm say. You know, can't listen to the news too often because it has you loving the oppressor and hating the oppressor. You know, so we got to do it.
Right on. You just as you're speaking, people are tapping in now. Posting your name back up. Ray Karen Winters, y'all. Make sure for those who are not familiar with her, you know what I'm saying, again, this is a relatively what's the punch code? What's the number? Is it the number that's tied to your name? What was it? How does it work? Or does it go like that? Is it a number?
My number. Yeah. My number is 72, and so the 15th district is on the west side in the Austin community. So my perimeters are from Division to Roosevelt Road, from Austin to Cicero. That's my square.
West side, heads up. Well, okay, in particular, y'all heads up, eyes open. This is okay. This is as you said, this is not just something that's happening in Chicago, but I mean, this is something that's happening. However, I'm talking about how the police deal with us as a people. We just had a panel with the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake, Emmett Till. However, this is something unique about this board, this election is happening tomorrow. So this seize the time again. Give me your punch, the punch number. And she said again, you gotta look for it. It's at the bottom of the ballot, y'all, which doesn't surprise me. So make sure y'all look for this. And also any social media or website, what have you, that people can come to, can tap in and follow up where you at.
Yeah. So Ray White Karen Winters, 15th Police District, number 72. My slogan is for candidates that's true, punch 72.
Right on.
And then you can visit my website, KarenFor15.com.
Y'all got that? Okay, if you have y'all can Chantal Brooks, she just put she punched it in right now again. I think you should put you say punch 72 if you can, since if you can't put down post up there for that what board this is, because I know people we at the mayor automatic so make sure people know what this is in particular. All right, y'all, less than 24 hours till we click on the countdown. Again, it's going at 6 a.m. You know what I'm saying? And do you know what time the polls close? I think it's 8 p.m. Is 8? You know?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. I'll be late all the time, so I'm gonna lie to myself. Say, okay, 5 a.m. and it closes at 6. So I'm gonna tell myself that we live and direct, y'all, because I know I'll be late all the time. Well, sister, again, you any closing remarks you feel you'll give us, and also you feel free to stay on with us. If you want something else come to mind, you want to pop back on, say something else, feel free.
Yeah.
And the airways are always open for you.
You know, thank you so much. I appreciate this. I truly do. I feel like I'm having a full circle moment. It's been that way for the past 2 days. That's why I know this is in the divine order. But I just want to, say to the people, that it's movement time. We got action right now. You know what I'm saying? And we that's how we need to go about this. Like, we got action and it's time to move. And I do believe that, we always look for the big change. You know what I'm saying? When things start happening, we want to see that big change. But sometimes change is subtle. It could be as small as a pinhole, right?
Yes.
Sooner or later, that pinhole starts to get larger and larger. And so that's how I'm looking at this, and I just want people to get to know what it is, okay? It is new, but there's information out there now, especially if you go to the Empowering Community for Public Safety. So, yeah, read up on it, and support it. It's community. We're serving the community. We have to hear from the community. So get behind this. Get behind this.
Right on. Give thanks, y'all. We live in the record, Freedom on Radio, making history, taking history, and taping history. Intellectual Radio, 92947-73785. So comrade, call in Q. Call in Q.
We have a caller in queue.
Welcome to Freedom on Radio. Caller.
Hey, what's going on, Chairman?
Well, hey, same struggle, different round. Who do we have on Freedom on Radio with us now?
Hey, what's going on, Chairman? This is Brandon Johnson. How are you?
I'm keeping my head up, good on this end. Welcome, Freedom on Radio. For those who I know it's crunch time. I know I could imagine, so that you as we say, moving and grooving. But if you get and we less than 24 hours away from this election. For those who may not know who you are, just saying, there's an international audience. For those who do know, again, if you could give us a background who you are, and I want to go just preface with that, and of course, why this election in particular. So why? Because as I said earlier when I opened up the show, many of my constituents. A lot of times we can be dismissive in regards to this whole process by electoral politics and the history of Chicago politics, so on and so forth. But there's a different feeling going on right now. It's it's cold red, different discussions. We got people from all over. We're fortunate and unfortunate to have people who are directly impacted by the system speaking up, taking a stand. But you'll say so you can. Who are you? Give us a little background on you, and also what's unique about this particular time period.
Hey, thank you for that, and thank you for your work, Chairman, and just the legacy that you continue to just build and bring in, true liberation to our people. So,
thank you.
My name is Brandon Johnson. I'm running for mayor of the city of Chicago. Currently, I do hold a position as Cook County Commissioner, which represents the west side of Chicago and the west of the suburbs. But the job that I'm always referencing, the job that, I will always see as the best position that I've ever had, is teaching in the Chicago public schools. I taught 7th and 8th graders at Jenner Academy in Cabrini Green, USA. I also taught at Weston House in the west side of Chicago. West side is where my wife and I, 25 years this June, we're raising our 3 children. They're 8, 10, and 15. And, it was really my time as a teacher that really helped sharpen my politics in Chicago. I had a certain level of consciousness that brought into the classroom as a social studies teacher and a reading teacher.
Oh, excuse me one second. Is it a background swing? Some background noise? Something banging somewhere on the phone? Okay. This is Phoenicia. Somebody in the background. Okay, I heard something back. Okay, forgive me. Huh?
It's all good.
Okay.
I was just saying that, Cabrini Green really captures the city of Chicago because Cabrini Green, you can see the richest neighborhood from our back windows. But as you know, Chairman, out of the front windows, there were bulldozers staring down our people, preparing to destroy their public houses, which they ultimately did.
Yeah.
So we've had this television have get more, and those who don't, they continue to get taken away from us. But that's why I'm running to become the next mayor of Chicago, to bring in a better, safer Chicago, but one Chicago, one story, where no one is too poor to live in one of the richest cities in the world.
This is I guess this is going to be a universal question. I'm going to put also. What do you think? What would be like a graphic or a big? I mean, of course, we know. It's not going to be like a 360 degrees change, overnight. But what do you think? Something that the people can that would identify as opposed to the present administration, the past administrations, and I know it's like a lot of people say it's so bleak in Chicago. When you were talking about the housing situation, the police, so not just I don't want not just Chicago all over, but how intensified it is. But what are some of the unique characteristics that you see that you see you in your administration bringing into the office to impact the people of Chicago?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So when I served as, when I first got elected as Cook County Commissioner, the major ordinance that I passed was the Just Housing Amendment. That ordinance had been on county board for 4 years. I passed it in 4 months. And what we did, Mr. Chairman, it eliminated discrimination. Those seeking housing who were formerly incarcerated. Many of our, family members, our friends, community members, who get arrested and locked up, they're penalized the rest of their lives, from, whether it was a mistake or whether it was an error, by the state. But one of the things that I thought was important was make sure that we address, those who were formerly incarcerated. Right. Also help get rid of the gang data, which was really a racist tool to target our people. And so the last thing that I'll mention about my time on the county board, particularly out the gate, I passed the Just Housing Amendment, as I said, got rid of the gang database, but I also passed the Justice for Black Lives resolution, and I moved on the budget for Black Lives. I built the entire budget around the lives of Black people for a reason. And what I wanted to do was to highlight, to your point, the economic disparities that exist within our community throughout the entire region. And as a result of that resolution, it led to the equity plan that President Clinton put forward, of which $100 million we got to go out of pension. We can eliminate up to $1 in medical debt. We have the largest guaranteed income program in the entire country, of which 55% of those who receive those dollars are Black women and brown particular. So this budget built around Black lives is, intentional about bringing to the light, our conditions, but also addressing them. And I'm going to bring that same leadership to the fifth floor. One of the things we're going to do right away is we're going to pass the treatment, not trauma ordinance that's going to provide first responders to respond to the mental health crisis that overwhelmingly clogs up our 911 system. They have police officers showing up in domestic disputes and mental health crisis. That's a disaster, right? And so by doing that police enforcement is actually focused on the more severe violent crimes that are happening in the city of Chicago. We're also going to double the amount of young people we hire. And when we hire them this summer, Chairman, we're going to fill around positions.
The phone was going in and out a little bit. You said something. I want a treatment. What was that again? A treatment act trauma. What was that again? Hello? Hello? Are we still on? Y'all bear with us. Treatment, not trauma. Okay, right on. Okay. I may have been lost. Okay. Let me take Mother Comrade till I pick up that for me. Is he still on or no? I don't know. She don't got disconnected.
Hold on.
Okay. Treatment, not trauma. Treatment, not trauma. Treatment, not trauma.
Unmuted.
Okay, am I back on?
Fremont, Chairman, there.
Fremont, yes.
We have the call.
We lost a caller?
Yeah, our caller just called back and it dropped again. Let me see if we'll call back in.
Commissioner. Okay. Brandon. Okay. Johnson. If he can call right back in, tell him forget the call that dropped. Cause someone, Brandon Johnson's office, have him call right back and press 1. Forgive us. I don't know if it's on my end. Yeah, we got back. Okay. Fremont, he's back on.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I don't know where we left off.
I was actually okay. I'm glad. Glad we got you back. That treatment. Okay, they just corrected me. Okay, give us what the significance of that treatment, not trauma. That kind of caught my ear. Can you give us a little back when you said that treatment, not trauma?
Yes, I can. So what that ordinance does is the 33rd Ward Alderperson, Ahmed Rodriguez, is the lead sponsor of this ordinance, and it's an alternative for the 911 calls that are mental health crisis, an alternative response to law enforcement. So instead of police officers showing up like they did with Quantonio LeGrier when he was having a mental health crisis on the West Coast 5-6 years ago now.
On Christmas Eve.
They were murdered.
Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Exactly. So instead of police officers showing up to a dynamic with a mental health crisis, you would have mental health crises professionals showing up to escalate that. Like, we have a long practice in history in our community where we have always practiced restorative justice. We've always worked hard to help de-escalate and to defuse. I mean, we have that by nature. It's been a form of survival, but it's also a differentiation because we recognize that we're all impacted by trauma. And if we're not treating that trauma, we're exacerbating it. And if we're exacerbating it, we're causing more harm. Under my administration, we're going to pass that ordinance, and we're going to place first responders to these mental health crises right in the midst of our community, so that we are doing everything in our power as a government, doing everything in our power to make sure that we're not causing harm. And we're not putting police officers in a position where they're being asked to do something that's not their job. They're not social workers. They're not. Just like teachers are not social workers or therapists. It doesn't mean that we can't be, sympathetic. And what we've seen, though, unfortunately, is that when we put people in position to do things that are out of position, it causes harm. And under my administration, I'm going to work hard to make sure that we're not exacerbating the harm that has been the prevailing form of politics for generations now.
Right on. What do you accredit? Okay, there's like different people that's on the ground in Chicago have word about with your campaign some the ways of tapping into some of the unconventional arenas, like the Benjamin Hennings. I've seen him. He talks about the house parties and even these listings, like even on different areas. I'm sure on the north side, east, other place, but west side, Crystal Gardner brought up about the events there, and Cassandra Greer with the listening sessions on the east side and other throughout the city. What are the unique? What are the characteristics of this? I've heard, it's been brought to my attention. I was like, it's some conversations that people who usually wouldn't talk about certain things. I mean, I know, like, even some brother Adolph who talked about the issues he went, the juvenile detention center and some other things at some of these listening sessions. What do you attribute to? What is the purpose of these unique ways of I would say I'm going to say unique that taps into some people opening up about certain discussions, and how do you see that? Would that be something that would continue on with your administration if you be the mayor of Chicago?
Yeah, with that point, yeah, So that's the point of this. Like, that we have had, dozens, well over 70, probably close to 80 house parties all over the city of Chicago, because we have to organize the city. And I'm running a campaign the way I'm going to run government. We're going to run it together, the chairman. Anybody that believes they can do this by themselves, they're a dangerous person. You don't believe them. They're lying, right? There are some very complex problems that exist in Chicago, and some of them are universal, to your point. But then some of them are unique to various zip codes and communities, right? So you got to go and listen to people, man. That's where government has failed. Look, I've served as an organizer. I've worked as an organizer. I'm going to continue to utilize those organizing skills because this city has been used to it. It's been accustomed to a more stratified structure where people hang out in their pockets, in their silos. And when people are afraid, they buckle down on those. Instead of opening up and recognizing that in order for us to be better, we all have to be better. That means being vulnerable. And in many instances, people are not given the platform and the space to be able to talk and speak truth. And having that capacity, when we have to take on the power structure, because just because I'm mayor of the city of Chicago doesn't mean that capital is just going to lay down. We're going to need the same people who organize house parties going to have the votes from that city council. I'll have the votes that I need in order to move the type of agenda that's going to bring liberation to all of our people. And so your point is not unique because, organizing like that, and that's our legacy, brother, right? That's our legacy. So we should not run away. In fact, we should embrace it and be far more inclusive. I believe in co-governance, and I come from a large family, so I'm accustomed, to sharing power and working together. Look, I know the decision ultimately comes down, to me, and I get to be informed by the best and brightest. I trust and I love the people of Chicago, and I believe that people want a better, stronger, safer one. And so we all have to take some responsibility in that. And I don't mean to get overly personal. I do have a wife and children still that I'm ultimately accountable to. And what I want for my family, I want for every single family in the city of Chicago. And I need to be able to go home at night and go to bed and be rested. I need to be available for my family. And the way I'm available for my family, taking care of myself, is to make sure that we're utilizing the expertise that we all bring to this city. We have experts around environmental justice and climate justice. We have experts in housing justice, education justice, economic development. We have a lot of experts that we have to tap into and utilize the best and the brightest mind that God has graced this earth with. That's how my administration is going to operate. And I've enjoyed it, brother, all over the city. Look, you travel the world. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's a universal language, man, if we speak it. There's a universal language if we speak it. If we're willing to humble ourselves. And for being able to run one of the largest economies in the world, you're going to need people who can help run alongside of you. That when my time comes to an end, that we're not starting over, that someone else can pick it up and move it from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's why I'm committed to this form of campaigning, because we take the conversation directly to the neighborhood, and then we bring the neighborhood to this floor.
Yes, indeed. Again, y'all. We live in direct on Freedom on Radio and Intellectual Radio. We have an international listening audience, and we're on the eve of Election Day in Chicago, Illinois, and Chicago has electoral politics. Frank Sinatra talked about it, the history of it. What goes down with it, and we talk about the uniqueness of this. We have the candidates here, and I know I want to say something that I want to address the elephant in the room. One of the elephants in the room when it comes to Chicago politics that many people may well, actually, no one should be able to dismiss, especially in this stage in the game. The city of Chicago, which for all practical purposes, was and for all, it pretty much remains one of the top segregated cities in the country. And and it's something I know that I pointed this out when I talk about even the cloth I'm cut from, Chairman Fred, who authored the Rainbow Coalition, how he dealt with the race and the class contradiction in particular in the city of Chicago. And you look at then fast forward, you go through the history, like electoral politics with the infamous Daily Machine. You look at, the old footage, you know what I'm saying, when the Democratic Convention, you know what I'm saying, the mandate, so from Mayor Daley Sr., you know what I'm saying, about how to deal with the uprising in Chicago, to Jane Byrne, to Harold Washington. You go back and pull, if y'all can, go YouTube some of the campaigns of Harold Washington running against Hampton, and not just look at the candidates, look at the people, and it can get real ugly with the race question here, and you Harold Washington, even after that, and though certain things may become dormant, but the reality is this is something that's intrinsic in Chicago in particular, and with that being said, and it's something I should be put. I wanted to make sure I put all of saying. I know, and they talking about it's already discussion now about yourself. You're running, saying, as opposed to Paul Vallis, and that's something that so it's going to be ahead of it in regards to this race question. Because the reality is this impacts the how the funding of allocation of TIF, tax increment funds, for housing, how crime is dealt with, everything. How would that be? How do you in this city that saying again that this impacts? I would even say impacts the way the water. You know what I'm saying? The race contradiction. I mean, this how so what do you? I mean, during your administration, how do you foresee even grappling with dealing with that? Some of those contradictions.
Yeah, no, that's right. Because as mayor of the city of Chicago, I'm running it all.
Yeah.
And so thank you for highlighting, those contradictions. And, look, I believe what's necessary. Here's what I know what's necessary. You got to take it dead on your own, man. You can't tiptoe around it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why when I talk about my public safety plan and I lay out my public safety plan, as well as my education plan, a lot of these systems that have been used to continue to oppress people, whether that's in standardized tests or whether that's in, the addiction that this city has on jails and incarceration, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know the standardized test, it was used as the eugenics study to so-called, they wanted to prove that blacks were inferior, right? That's all those tests do. They reinforce, this inferiority of dynamic that they want to continue to spread as a narrative on our people. And so it's challenging our public school system, right, to be more community-driven in terms of how we deliver services, making sure that we have mobile trauma units that can be dispatched throughout the city of Chicago to provide care. It's about having a well-rounded curriculum where we are, exposing the students of the city of Chicago to the globe as languages, art, culture, right? Sports, recreation, music, giving our children the full gamut of what the world has to offer. Trade, manufacturing jobs, opportunities, and these type of trainings that continue all the way up to community college should be free. And under my administration, that's what we build towards. That also means childcare, right? But it also means that, with law enforcement and policing, that we have to take a look at their budget. Look at the budget, Chairman, and, they have 3 or 4 graphic designers that the police budget is appropriated. What do graphic designers have to do with public safety? You know what I'm saying? We have this consent decree that has not been administered. And so we're going to have to invest to make sure that the consent decree, which ultimately leads towards a better, stronger, safer Chicago, that we are implementing that. And then to your point, we have individuals who have violated our community. And as much as, we believe in mercy and second chances, our people have been victimized, right? I talked to a mother today, who is a victim. And so we have victims and survivors of that trauma and crime. And we have to make sure that we're bringing justice, right? Because people want closure. They've lost family members, lost loved ones. And that's a lot of pain. Talk to mothers who've lost children. These children go to school after a mass shooting takes place in the neighborhood. Those support services. And so, yes, these contradictions exist.
Yeah.
And incumbent upon all of us to continue to organize, call out these systems who have perpetuated violence against people and against humanity. And that's why I'm committed to making sure that those who are tortured, by the government, that we give them full reparations. And I made a commitment to that. And it wasn't just John Bird. He was a notorious one.
Yes.
There were others. And so we have to repair the damage that this government, that the harm that this government caused. That's how we deal with these contradictions. You got to admit, like, I have asked, if you didn't know that, you were in the room with me and I was having to breathe, you wouldn't know how to treat them.
Yeah, I know.
Give them some water, give them some air.
Yeah.
Now that I have asthma, like, does he have in that? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know how to treat it, right? And so when you name it, you can treat it. So our administration is not going to be afraid to name it, because it's well past time, brother, that we really have systems of care. Have to be the prevailing form of how we engage. And of course, I'm inspired by the west side of Chicago. When before there was anyone talking about health care for all, or a free lunch. I mean, we know the roots and the history and the roots that run deep in our community that have made this country better as a result of us just looking to have systems of care. And because of systems of care, like the Black Panther Party, every child in the country gets to eat. Everybody's talking about health care, Medicare for all. That comes out of this public education at the expense of the state is a Negro idea. Those are the words of W.E.B. Du Bois. Mm-hmm. Right? And so when we think about public education, public transportation, public housing, good paying jobs and health care, those are the demands that the formerly enslaved had when the so-called emancipation was granted. You throw in there environmental justice, climate justice, access to food, so that we can deal with the apartheid structure within food access in this city with all the vacancies. We have such an opportunity to revitalize our community, put people to work, put people on the pathway to home ownership, give them good-paying jobs. They imbibe the entrepreneur spirit, invest in them, because they're going to invest right back in our community. There's an opportunity to revive the city, and that's why I'm looking forward to becoming the mayor of the city of Chicago.
Yes, indeed. We live on the record again, y'all. Y'all tap in and tune in. This is a special edition. You know what I'm saying? This again, less than I want to say 12. We on a countdown. 6 a.m. Those polls open. Websites. Any other comments that I may have missed, or you want to point out that that we may have missed? And again, websites or information. Was it the number? Definitely, I know not till we hear those numbers is sticking. I mean, the number that people should connect to your name. That is connected to your name.
Yep, definitely. Go to my website. Go to my Twitter handle, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere, Facebook, Brandon.com, and then I want you to go and punch 5, Brandon for Chicago, and I want you to make sure we're voting for the district council members as well. I know our sister on the west side was just on, Raywa, and there are other people like her who are running to provide the type of oversight over law enforcement that we need directly from our community. And Sister Winters is a dynamic sister, and I support her wholeheartedly. And she represents, the beauty and the love.
She represents the well. We just had them on, and then again, that's a new office in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So people again. Be on the heads up for that tomorrow. Also, this is historical in so many ways. And you kind of breaking up again, brother. Can you if you can't say it one more time for us? That what's your number and also the websites again?
Yeah, punch 5 BrandonForChicago.com. Punch 5 BrandonForChicago.com. I love you, brother. I appreciate the time and the work that you've been doing and the legacy that you continue to carry out. It means a lot. To our people, and it means a lot to the entire world. Punch 5. Let's make 3 tomorrow. Let's make sure that we communicate with all of our people to get out and vote. We can make it. The polls are already saying that I've come out of nowhere. I announced in Cabrini Green back in October. No one thought we had a chance, and now our movement is on the front page of the papers across this country. So we get to make history tomorrow. You can elect a teacher, a husband, a father, someone who loves people. Someone who's raising their family west side of Chicago, someone who loves our city, who's bringing the city together. So thank you again. Love you, brother. Give your best, of course, to the family. And again, I want people to get out and vote tomorrow, 6 a.m. Polls open up and close at 7. To 5 a.m. for you, Chairman.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yes,
Yeah.
those who know me know to give me the extra hour. Yes, indeed. Well, hey, we appreciate you coming in because again, we don't take this lightly. I know y'all, as we say, moving and grooving. It's on the crunch time for calling in on these intense hours right now. Again, everyone, you know what I'm saying? Again, for everyone else, 6 in the morning. I'm telling as you just heard, brother said for me 5 a.m. in the morning, and that's happening. The weather is, I think, it's been some rough last few days, rough, but it's gonna be relatively all right tomorrow. So y'all look for the voter polls. Where they at?
Right.
One more time.
That's right. No excuses. Yeah, there are polling places everywhere. You all find out, where your precinct is. You'll see it. Get up in the morning. It's not too far from most people's homes. So again, my number is 5 on the ballot. Punch 5. Brandon for Chicago. I love you all. I'm headed to my next stop, and we'll see us on the Victory Party, man. I'll send you that information. Come out and celebrate on the West Side when we make history tomorrow. I'll send you the address.
Love, respect, and appreciation, y'all. We live and direct on Freedom Radio, making history, taking history, and taping history, y'all. For the international audience that's listening in, y'all make sure y'all tap, y'all see again. We are giving to you on the ground. What's happening? I'm gonna be hopping back on. I'm gonna be hopping back and forth on live, coming up to it. And y'all just heard, so those that don't be noticing, okay, Chairman, you come in at 5, be up at 5 in the morning. And again, this is a hell of a period of time, because like I say, this guess heavy hitters tapping in with you too. That's indeed. I see heavy hitters, the Cassandra Greer. Oh, wait, make sure, okay, y'all, Cassandra Greer, go to make sure y'all hear me on this. Cassandra Greer, again, I said this earlier, but let me reiterate this. If you need a ride, if there are people need a ride, they have rides available. Cassandra Greer said they hit your page, hit your page. What needs to happen? Mark Clemens, 0.72 for winners. She just was on with us, no doubt. That's down. That's for the police. One more time, y'all. I'm just saying this correctly. Accountability. Inbox. Okay, take that one more time for me. I post for this. Okay, Mark Clemens says punch. Mark Clemens, we go on read some of these comments. We get Mark punch 72 for winners. You got it right there already. Police accountability and Brandon Johns for mayor. He says punch. Okay, punch 5. Okay, police accountability. Make sure y'all distinguish that. That's at the bottom of the ballot. Inbox Cassandra Greer. She's on Facebook. Inbox Cassandra Greer. You say, man, I don't feel like going this early in the morning, getting on ride there, so on and so forth. Inbox her. They work on transportation. Who else we got called? This is this is a special edition. You know what I'm saying? We want to thank all our callers for calling in, all the people who tapping in, all the energy, y'all. If you feel any of our past callers will call in with rebuttals, something you missed, you say, oh, I forgot to say this. And again, this energy, just an informed audience. Again, and I just want to say this, man. I really appreciate everyone who called in. If you know what I'm saying, you had different candidates, some different offers. However, it was so respectful. It's really insulting a lot of times the way that the electoral political game is pushed out to our community in particular. But you've seen some hardcore information being laid out for us. So this is how years back we had some issues with the thing vote or die. Because they had these people puffy cones that come out. They didn't say nothing to us. You know what I'm saying? And it was just saying vote or die, play some music. So, no, the stakes are too high. We are due more. And you seen the type of dialogue and discussion we had here today. And we put the call out to everyone. So you see, well, my candidate didn't call in. So I respect that. A lot of times people feel like, well, man, I actually have to contact the people down there. Sometimes a lot of people feel they just come to the Bud Billiken Parade, throw a T-shirt on, ride past us, and that's it. The respect to reach out to us, you know what I'm saying? And again, respect is reciprocal. You know what I'm saying? Again, that should be in a relationship, your family, your community, a dining service, a business, the gas station. It should be some respect, the dialogue with you to come in and should in the electoral office. Did I just? Oh, you gonna vote for me? It draws a foregone conclusion. We had some good questions and laid out, and you know what I'm saying. I know people are still gonna be out on the ground because again, we less than 12 hours. It's on the countdown. It's on the countdown. Any more callers in queue?
Fremont, Chairman, we have another call in queue.
Welcome to Fremont Radio.
Fremont.
Hey, how you doing, Chairman? This is Rabbi. How you doing?
Rabbi, I'm well. How are you doing?
Oh, man, you know what it is, man. On the front lines doing what we do, you know.
Yeah. And I caught that pause and I asked you how you doing. Because I don't want to speak. I want you. We got word, you know. So we keep our ear to the ground, and I know there's an event in regards to you. Well, let me open up for you. Give us the back. Who are you? You know what I'm saying, for those who might not know, you know what I'm saying, your history, who you are, and what's happening, and what happened. Because it's been a lot of buzz lately. It's been huddled airways through the community about this assault, the situation with you. And make sure you give out your page too. You know what I'm saying? Your Facebook page. But again, welcome Fremont Radio, and let us know what's happening, and also, you know, where you at with this upcoming election. But what happened? Whose office? Well, I'm gonna step back. Go ahead, my brother.
Man. Well, for your viewers, my name is Rabbi Michael Ben Yosef. I'm a human rights activist, anti-violence activist here in Chicago. My organization is Chicago Activist Coalition for Justice, headquartered here in Chicago. We do civil works around issues with regards to gun violence, police-involved shootings. We do work on voters' rights. We do work on immigration, work on unsolved murders of Black women and missing persons in Chicago and other different areas on these issues. First and foremost, just appreciate the program you had of having diverse candidates that are running for office. I did have the pleasure of meeting a lot of them during this time of the election cycle. I can tell you that this is probably one of the most profound, talented group of candidates that are coming forth before all the constituents in Chicago, and just excited to see what will be the results of this election. But I also want to say this is a consequential election because of certain things that I discovered during this election cycle. A lot of times what I do is I do research. I just would like to go to polls and cast my ballot without doing my due diligence or checking candidates out. So I decided to check out Paul Vallis, and I found some very disturbing feedback about his viewpoints with regards to the issues that has been hurting Black and brown people around the country, particularly when it comes to the critical race theory. Mr. Vallis has views that I would believe has been suppressed from the public, and I've been just doing a lot of research on him. And he did a podcast with I do believe had to be a Republican type of audience, and the conversation went along with asking his viewpoint of critical race theory, being the former CEO of Chicago Chicago Public Schools in Chicago. And one of the things he did say, which was very striking, he made an analysis about if a white child goes to school and has a curriculum that reveals in the curriculum from a teacher that the teacher would talk about Black suffering and Black discrimination and Black oppression, that this child would go home, literally to go home to his parents and say, well, I learned today that my ancestors was responsible for discriminating against someone that does not look like me. Is that true? Then Mr. Vallis will go on to say, well, we don't want to have that conversation from this child. This child shouldn't have to go home and feel some sense of sadness or feeling of regret for what's happened in the past. that was then he goes on to say that the teachers should not deviate from core curriculum, but they refuse to have anything to do with any issues that's divisive, that's confrontational, and will cause not accountability upon what the teacher is required to do. Those are the type of talking points that are from the MAGA movement that we have witnessed from the last administration in the President of the United States, number 45. As we have seen, the movement of the MAGA movement is still alive and well, and that's one of the talking points that Mr. Valls was using in his comments towards the podcast moderator. Not only that, he is also endorsed by the FOP president, John Cardazaro, who is a known racist in Chicago, and is now still his tenure as the president of the FOP in Chicago, expediting and continuously putting forth those talking points that MAGA is already been spewing out in the community. So, long story short, the viewers, yesterday, Paul Valls had a campaign event up north, and I decided to take my bullhorn, to take my sign, to take my passion for the people and be on the ground and go out there and stand out there and be unapologetically as a peaceful protest. And when I got there was a whole line of media standing outside of the venue. And when I began to unpack my thing, they want to start packing everything up and go inside the venue. So I said, well, I need to get busy because I see what's going on. I can read between the lines. So I got my bullhorn, got my Facebook Live going, and just basically started speaking out publicly about how this candidate should not be nowhere near the fifth floor in the city hall, expediting and putting policy in place will impact further of the division and hurt war of black and brown in Chicago. So then, getting to the maybe 15 minutes in my action in peaceful protest, by the way, one of the people will stand out there asking, "Well, Rabbi, can you provide some evidence?" I said, "Sure, I can give you the link and then play it." So I got my bullhorn, got my phone, and went to the actual link that has it online right now. Everyone can go get it. I'm going to send it to you, and they can listen to this man talk about his viewpoint that's so damaging that this person should not have nowhere near of having anything to do with being in some sort of high-ranked position, such as the city of Chicago mayor. So I began to put it forth, my bullhorn and my camera, my phone with the link, and you hear his voice talking. And not only in 5 seconds, then the door opened up, slammed open. Here comes Paul Valls goon, and basically stood before me and just kind of said, "You need to leave this." Well, I'm not going anywhere. Don't touch me. So then the guy just looked at the other guy, and I never forget the look that he gave him. It's hard to kind of see it on the camera, but I looked at the guy. It was a big black guy standing in the door. And he gave the guy that was standing in front of me more like a clue or like a hint. And the guy that looked at me, looked at him, and then the guy just stood, paused, and then went forth, grabbed my bullhorn, basically almost knocked me down, and destroyed my bullhorn right in front of everybody. And my camera was rolling on Facebook Live. It was on Facebook Live. You can see it clear as day what was happening. I really don't have to say a word. The visual footage speaks what the volumes of what it is. When the rich and the powerful and the privileged wants to capture a position, it's always the primary point they want to do is to press information, press the knowledge, press us being woke. When we have people who seek these positions that we just vote for anyone that we think is going to do right for us. But in actuality, they're only serving the rich, the powerful, and the influenced, and it connected. So the video footage clearly shows what has happened. So I just basically I did call the police, and the police saw the video. I couldn't believe it. I was still in shock.
Mm-hmm.
The police showed up. The police rewound my live, and they saw the actual frame by frame and seeing what had happened to me. Basically being assaulted on live, and they did it. They filed a police report for me, and so I got to go up to the station to get all the documentation because we want to do further pursuing. Now, here's the thing: when it comes to that person wasn't arrested. Had that been a black man, that black man would have been arrested right there on the ground, handcuffed right now. But because of privilege and because of those who have the money, and then not only that, the police showed up so late, so the guy had a chance to get away anyway. Had it been a black man, that man would have been in handcuffs, would have been, rights wouldn't have been read. We all know the story of how it would have happened. They came half an hour, 45 minutes late. I was able to still fill it out, but the guy was long gone from the thing. So now, right now, we're mobilizing to let your viewers know we're not just going to allow this to be under the rug and kind of just allow this to just blow over. That's the wishing, just to blow over. Our job as leaders and as you chairman, our job is to put the fire to the pedal and not be complacent or to be just to give an inch, because people are serious about taking everything from us or what little we have left. But we're going to organize and do whatever we can do to see this come to a immediate close. And then again, if this guy does win this position, we are really going to next day after call for his impeachment because we believe that this is a miscarriage of injustice, that he should be disqualified. He does not represent the fabric of black and brown based off of those racist viewpoints that he's saying. I mean, he says these things, and if he's the top CEO of Chicago Public Schools, how much more damage could he be detrimental to black and brown being the mayor of Chicago, having all that power to do whatever he wants to do to bring his racist ideology to a position that hurts even further what we already in the bottom of having those policies come forth in a racist. And that would be up for myself.
We live the record Free Amar Radio. Rabbi, you mentioned I just want for those who just tuning in with us, okay, this assault that you were subjected to yesterday at the I don't know if he's in the office or or Paul Vallis, and people heard you say you had your bullhorn, your podium. This is so I don't want people to get it wrong. This is something. So I mean, this is. Whether you be in front of Logan prison, or myself, you, Sandra Grill, Dr. LaShawn, and others to address the issues that the women in Logan's prisons was subjected to, and you everywhere when you pop you have the whole the podium, the bullhorn, and we've seen this footage of this. You know what I'm saying? You've been in front of prisons. You know what I'm saying? I mean, state troopers around. You know, I haven't seen assaulted like this. You know, and this again. I want you to get your Facebook page. People can see this again. Also, let me add this. You know, I'll put this in context too. This is not Paul Vallis's first rodeo. You know, this is his history with the infamous Daily Machine. And again, we talk about we have different candidates call in, but I don't know if this is the history with the infamous Renaissance 2010 program with the schools, and also Paul Vallis with the education. I don't have enough time for this show to talk about the contradiction that with that. But Paul Vallis later was over the educational system in Philadelphia, then transferred to New Orleans. And in fact, I ran into him myself, and I knew what we was doing. When I traveled down to New Orleans, we had some issues with the the prison schools down in New Orleans was challenging these contradictions, and then he was later moved to Haiti, and like they moved people were like chess pieces. You say, wow, so back in Chicago now, and this is discussion about him running for mayor of Chicago now, and you say, whoa, it's kind of like you look at certain hotspots, and you say, well, they have moved certain individuals around to the spot kind of hot, you know what I'm saying? And they be exposed in a certain city, and they moved him. They moved him around literally. You know what I'm saying? I recall this in New Orleans and Philly. People were calling like, "Man, what's going on? You know this dude?" I said, "Yeah." This is something about that even speaks to the importance of internationalism. Because I tell you, the system, it plays of subjectivity. Like, okay, they'll move a person from the south side to the west side. Les Long movement again. Balance was moved to Philadelphia, to New Orleans, and to Haiti, yeah. And since all of a sudden pop back up now, and then with this arrogance. So I want people to go to Rabbi's page. You know what I'm saying? And you can see where it's bred from. You know what I'm saying? The author again. So those people heard you say the bull, they might think this is something new with you. This situation, but no, in front of prisons. You know what I'm saying? And see in contrast what happened to you yesterday. And this footage is on your page. I want you to get your Facebook page also, with Rabbi. And anything that you want to add also, please.
Yeah, my Facebook page is RAV Michael MICHAEL NBENYOSEF. And your viewers to know this was not just a friendly kind of case with these people. This was assault, and we have to call it what it is. I was there protesting the disgusting Constitution that says I have the right to freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and freedom of protest. And I was assaulted by this person who was so at large. Had it been like, as they said a couple of years ago when black folks downtown Chicago looting, stuff like that, they will immediately put that picture on the television. You saw it. They put the picture on the television immediately. A household is not so. This person that assaulted me, this is not on front news. And not only that, why is the news not expediting this type of attack that was done? This could have been anybody.
Yes.
Calling for accountability, not having these people just get away with murder. They deserve to be held accountable, and it's just where it's supposed to be. A crime was committed, assault was done. I was minding my own business, exercising my freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and if you didn't like what I said, that's what it is. According to this Constitution, I can do whatever I like as long as infringing no one else's rights. And my rights was violated severely in that video. You can go to my Facebook page, RAV Michael MICHAEL BENYOSEF, or you can go to my organizational page. The link of the video is there. Chicago Activist Coalition for Justice.
You look at the video again, like even the body language, the aggression. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, the Gestapo tactics, the way they do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all this. I mean, this individual's mission was the uniform. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could the how his body language, and once you start, like even who you dealing with, Paul Vallis, doing even the case, the revealing of recent, what state was it with his son? The case with his son who was a police, and was it Texas? Texas. You'll say go check that with Paul Vallis' son. You know what I'm saying? This is the modus operandi, and also in addition to that, I mean, you go back and look, like the funding, who's backing them. I know. Let us not forget the case of Laquan McDonald. You know what I'm saying? And the police that was involved in that case, that connection to Paul Vallis. So this is let us struggle to use these different contradictions, and as educational opportunities too. You know what I'm saying? Again, to connect the dots. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we look at situations subjective, like, oh, this person is You tie this in with his position about the critical race theory, the type of position with the police on, and you know what I'm saying, and look at the arrogance. Again, we go to Rabbi's Facebook page. You know, you can look at certain situations and say, okay, this person was trained, or somebody made you feel cocky or comfortable enough to do this move. You know what I'm saying? To move with this arrogance like this here. Where does it come from? This individual's first rodeo. You know what I'm saying? And go back and check his background in Chicago in particular, as well as you guys call your loved ones in Philadelphia, New Orleans. Because you might say, well, maybe it was just maybe the weather was so bad in Chicago, you know what I'm saying, he just had a bad few months. Call down New Orleans, checking about the prison schools. And if you, Haiti. So, I mean, this is internationalism, you know what I'm saying? And so you had to, what's the dynamic with Chicago? What's at stake here? Why these, you know what I'm saying? Because you look at these individuals, a lot of times you say, well, man, they got enough resources, fine, what just go off and live. Why they bringing these certain individuals to be put in place in certain offices? So again, an informed audience, and there's heightened contradictions up the ante where a person can't come up there, you know what I'm saying, and shake a few black hands or grab a hot sauce bottle out they pocket or purse, whatever the case may be, or you know what I'm saying, or just come back, you know what I'm saying, and just talk to some different entertainers and say, no, it stays too high. You know, so we talking about because everything is political. Similar to like you looking how it was exposed with the disproportionate allocating of funds with the refugees from Yugoslavia as opposed to those from Rwanda. They say it's a disproportionate funds. They said, wait a minute, the money, the resources that they giving one person, you know what I'm saying, in Yugoslavia for food or whatever, they say, man, I was allocated to, I mean, thousands. You had to break, literally, like cases where one orange had to be divided. With they said those from Africa, from up to hundreds of them, you know, and you go back and look at the park districts, you know, she said, why do you go some park? Because sometimes I'll be placed in Chicago, sometimes I'll be like, well, man, maybe I'm tripping. It's not that bad. You go, it's some places, you go some of these parks in Chicago or north and other places, you say, is this Disneyland? I missed something? And you go back and look on 59th and Hermitage or 59th and Wood. Speaking of which, that's somebody who I'm Lopez, 15th Ward. Definitely, man, no go on this dude. I'm talking Gloria Williams. She called in 2 weeks ago, so you know what I'm saying. So I she listening. You can call in real quick. Give us your position with that. Go look at the consistent contradiction to Ray Lopez. That he was talking about running for man first. I don't know why they moved him out. I guess continue to mess over the people in the 15th Ward for a little bit longer, whatever the case that is, though. But go back to a little. And that's don't limit it just to the web. You can do the Google and Wikipedia, but put your ear to the ground to the community, like you do in the streets. You go, you say, who is that? They selling cars on 33rd in Weston. Yeah, man. Is they reputable? What's their background? When these people are put in front of us, do a little call, that community grapevine. Man, Paul Vallis, you heard him? Yeah. Well, what was he doing in the school system? Who is this? Google it. I can do these rappers and stuff like, man, that's such and such. Yeah, we from little research. Rabbi, again, give us your Facebook again and where the video can be found at.
Yeah, you can find my on my personal Facebook page, RAV Michael Michael Ben BENYOSEF. You can find the link there. And I just gotta say one more last thing. What happened to me is a snapshot of what we're up against if this guy gets up in there. Because these guys so emboldened. It wasn't like, timid.
No, man.
Well, I'm gonna think about it. It was pure aggression.
Yes.
And if this guy is on FOP and over the police department, we're gonna see more of Laquan McDonald. We're gonna see more Breonna Taylor. We're gonna see more George Floyd in Chicago if this guy gets up in there. So
that's Paul.
We need to show up tomorrow, and we need to show up tomorrow in droves and do what we need to do as people of color, because this is a racist that's seeking to come in our community and portray his ideology, his racist viewpoint in our community, and we're going to be the ones end up with all of that type of aftermath of not having anything but the less that we do have. got to show up and show out tomorrow.
Can't make it more plain than that, y'all. Go look on Rabbi's page. As he said, look at the arrogance that this century, this how he moved in. This is so. Imagine with him being okay. I know I lost my sound on y'all Instagram. Y'all bear with me close. Okay, man. One more time with that Facebook contact. I know we on countdown. Wednesday, we're gonna be come back in again. Y'all, Cassandra Greer, inbox her to get transported there. Stay on Mark Clemens' page. I'm gonna be going live here and there. We had a phenomenal show. I'm gonna thank Intellectual Radio for letting us come in on this special day. Rabbi, man, again, man, keep your head up, man. Keep us posted. Listeners, viewers, people in general, revolution, love, and respect, y'all. Again, everything's political. You know what I'm saying? This is electoral politics, but again, it's some hot topics as we just seen, the stuff this topics that we have discussed thus far, and there are more. Keep in tune. So for y'all, 6 in the morning. For me, I'm saying 5 in the morning. Be on time. Be on time. Who we got here? Okay. Says good Reverend Michael. So please watch and share. Go right on. She reiterated, y'all. Go to his page. Look at the video himself. Again, check his page out. Check the video out. Again, watch what Benny Siegel saying in this song. Communicate. 85% of communication is nonverbal. Look at the arrogance, the body language on how they move his brother. Okay, I don't know if we have any more callers in queue, but we got to close on out, y'all. I'm gonna be going live here and there. 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So I can't get there. I ain't got no way to get the bus tripping. Inbox Cassandra Greer, y'all. Keep your heads up, eyes on the fist clench, y'all. What's the call? Free them all. Phenomenal show. Again, roll call real quick. Kenya Franklin, she said something too. I missed it. Who's running for that police accountability? Mr. Quote. She pointed out the contradiction with Anna Soloria, the one that's running against her. Ain't been no police brutality less long, not even from the area. And she pointed out the contradiction that the FOP are raising up. Again, so these are not officers that's a clear slate. They are going contested. So be heads up on that. So the A-Rock, Kenya Franklin, right on. Okay, y'all, we're gonna close out. Keep your heads up, eyes on the fist clench. Another powerful episode of Freedom on Radio here, Intellectual Radio. We on deck Wednesday, y'all. I might do a special episode, but touch in tomorrow. But Wednesday, 6 to 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Sister Conrad, take us on out. Okay, man, free them all.